Generator Z is an ideas platform driven by teens to reimagine after school. Apply to become a generator and direct the change that you want to see. Over the next year, 1,000 teens will be paid $1,000 for their participation. Head to generator-z.org to get started.
Thousand influencers across 10 themes and topics regarding after school. So that's a lot of sway that you guys have there, just so you really can kind of grasp what your value is. Don't hold back. The sky is the limit. Your imagination is the limit.
I do a lot of schoolwork and it takes up a lot of time, but I don't feel like I'm learning things. But I still don't know who I am. That school doesn't teach you that.
What the foundation is doing is saying they want to drop a microphone down inside you, and what comes back is up to you.
Often teens are told that they can't really have a voice. So for us to get this opportunity to 1,000 teens to come together and share our story, for me, it made me step out of my comfort zone a little bit, which is kind of good because I usually like to stay in my own bubble. But it was a really amazing experience because it opened my eyes up.
Reading the stories, I felt the same thing, that it was a reminder that not just at their age, but even at my ripe age, that courage and vulnerability and agency and empathy, those things aren't things we should take for granted. And there are not enough outlets in life that offer them. So I just found myself wanting to see, I wonder who some of these kids will be like 5 years from now.
Reading these stories and hearing some of the pain in some of these kids' words and really just wanting to grab their shoulder like, listen, it's okay. Man, power of voice. What a beautiful space to be in. The power of diverse voices coming together to help these young people to step into their own voices.
The fact that they're so hyper aware, they know what's going on around them. Oh, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. They're telling us what's wrong. They have just said, we need mental health, we need job readiness, we need this. The applications for this moving forward on a grander scale are infinite.
This project matters because literally all of us are talking about how wow, these teens are so in touch with their emotions. They know so many things that we didn't know. And it just shows the importance of giving teens agency because clearly there's so much growth there, right? They've been able to show so much resilience. One of the stories was all these things happen, but I worked on it and now I'm fine. That's something that takes people 50, 60 years to do. And really, I think shows that we have to listen to them.
Whoa, somebody is having you and a group of other youth be responsible for figuring out what the future of the youth after school programming and youth-led organizations is going to look like. A youth-led grant deciding application process is definitely something I think is really interesting.
We work very, very hard to express ourselves within these stories, so honor our time and being so vulnerable and opening our hearts up to the themes that we want to see in after-school programs. Speak in a language that meets us where we are. Be exciting. Please do not be boring. I know we've been stressing this. No teenager wants to read a fancy grant application that doesn't meet us where we are and uses so much jargon that we can't even understand what the inspired idea is or what the program is. So be as genuine as possible because we can tell if you have so much passion, you really are connected with these stories.
For those of you who share both ups and downs with how you're feeling about an idea, I just want to encourage you that both are very constructive, whether it's positive and for it, or whether it's being a little bit more critical of it.
They're gonna come after us if we don't continue to give them a voice now that they're out of the box in this way. At a personal level, I am like doubling down and working as hard as I can to make sure that they are, we're reaching providers so that they can get the programs that they want and wish for.
Is this experimental? And is this courageous? I think that all of it is necessary in the grand scheme of you're helping young adults. But as a person who submits to a lot of grants, I want to say yes to everything, but I also had to be like, this really isn't that experimental. This is something that you can kind of get anywhere. And that's how I approached it up. Can you get this program anywhere? And if you can't, it probably is very necessary for these young adults.
But intergenerational working together authentically, and not like, oh, well, this person ages out and we have to replace them. I really want to see a cross-generational future because we're going to get a lot more done.
What a lovely group of people that ABIR has assembled, and how hard people really try, whether we're of that generation or not, to connect in ways that are meaningful, to move the work forward. And I really appreciate that. It's been a fascinating process. I've learned a lot about how big brands are built and how distributed teams can work together to make it happen.
I'm so grateful for all of you on this team. You guys are all incredible and made this magic happen, and no one's done this before, and it was just like, we could do it, I think, right? So thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. And I was really serious when I said, if we're going to create joy for others, then we need to understand how to insert joy into what we're creating and doing. And so I feel like all of you contributed to that in really meaningful ways and organically too. And so thank you so much for that.
My moment of joy was when we got the initial website up. It was just so much more work than we anticipated at the beginning. It was a really stressful time. We had all three of our developers working. We had 2 designers. We just brought everyone in. But we got through it, and then the response to it was so amazing. So it was really validating and cool.
When we learned that we only had 3 weeks to get what we thought was 1,000, which then turned into 2,000. We were like, wait, what? I was like, this is insane. We didn't buckle. We just said, all right, cool, let's go and make it happen. So that joyful in the sense that, okay, this isn't theoretical anymore. We actually have to do this now. So like a supercharged moment where you really felt like you were building something, and I always like that feeling.
I didn't know how much I seek the approval of Gen Z until I started doing this, and I was near tears. I was like, oh my god, this is all I needed in my life. I think I can just die now happy. It's just been really fun figuring out the voice and what to do, and the fact that I talk to my friends and I'm I make memes for an after school grant that and they're like, what? And I'm yeah, I make memes, and some of them do really well. And it's just fun.